So Henry Cejudo lost Merab Dvalishvili, and he did not get the opportunity to announce his retirement in the cage. And people are wondering if that was Dana White's decision. Dana White may have been wanting revenge on Cejudo for retiring when he did back in 2020. But I wanted to make this video for quite a while actually, because I've been somebody who, let's say, is not really the biggest believer in Henry Cejudo's legacy as an all-time great of the sport. Now, he is an all-time great, no question, but I've never seen why people put him in the top 5. I couldn't even see why people put him in the top 10, and to be perfectly honest, he's not even a guaranteed top 15 in my books. Now, I can definitely put him in the top 15, but it's not exactly the clearest cut decision in the world. And you know, I've seen a lot of people say that Henry Cejudo is an all-time great and he deserves to be in the top 5. Maybe he does, but I want to go through his legacy now because he's retiring for good and, yeah, he's not coming back. So let's talk about his legacy because he doesn't have this long George St. Pierre, Jose Aldo winning streak. It's very much a quality-based resume, but I do think the quality is overhyped a bit. He lost to Demetrius Johnson the first time, and he rebounded with wins over Wilson Hayes and Sergio Pettis. Dominant wins, good wins, really good wins, cemented him as another top contender. Then he fought Demetrius Johnson, and this was his big career-defining moment, defeating the great Demetrius Johnson. Now, I don't have a problem with anybody saying that Cejudo won, but boy was it close. And it's funny, I've heard more people over the years, in fact, I think a lot of people will say this, more fans and analysts over the years have talked about how they feel Demetrius Johnson won the fight fairly clearly than saying Cejudo deserved to win it. Now, it is what it is, it was a close fight, it was competitive. However, the fact that there was never a rematch, and Cejudo did openly say he wasn't interested in it, he said that it would be better for the division if there was somebody else in getting a title shot instead of DJ. And this was back when there were all kinds of questions about why the flyweight division wasn't getting attention, and a lot of people blamed Demetrius Johnson because he was so dominant, but people just didn't gravitate towards him. And Cejudo, in my opinion, he won the fight fair and square, I'll say, because it was certainly no robbery. However, the fact that he openly pushed to not have a rematch is something where it's kind of hard for me to say that he was definitively the best guy in the division, because that fight could have gone either way, and the other guy who was a part of it went to a different organization, and it was a move made specifically by the new owners, who are not so much fight fans, they're entertainment fans. So, I mean, the Fertittas, I can tell you, they never would have made that decision. So, yeah, that was what it was, and Cejudo never defended his title against another flyweight. He defended it against TJ Dillashaw, who have a bit of a problem with people saying that did more than any win Demetrius Johnson had at flyweight, because just because TJ Dillashaw was a big name, people wanted to see him fight Demetrius Johnson because Demetrius Johnson had cleared out the division. Henry Cejudo had not. So it just seemed like a bit of an odd choice. I would have preferred to see a rematch with Joseph Benavidez. Then he moved up to bantamweight and fought Marlon Moraes. Now, in the end, Marlon Moraes has turned out to be no great shakes, because that loss really took his soul. And he's just proven to have no ground skills, really. Like, he really is a front runner. Nonetheless, he was on a super impressive winning streak going into that fight. It was a really good fight to test where Cejudo was at the bantamweight division, and he won it, fair and square. However, this is where I have a real hard time putting Cejudo definitively in the top echelon of the greatest of all time discussion. Yes, he was a two-weight world champion. However, he openly campaigned against taking on all comers. He did not fight Aljamain Sterling. He did not fight Corey Sandhagen. He did not fight Petr Yan. So, what did his title reign at bantamweight really mean? Yes, he fought Dominic Cruz, who had proven to defy the odds when it came to long layoffs in the past. But nonetheless, for me, a champion is not just based off of one good win. you need to cement that you're a champion by taking on all comers, especially in a division that was super stacked with talent. And what Henry Cejudo did was he beat Dominic Cruz, he retired, and then he routinely called out and mocked every other contender and then complained about not getting offers to fight when he wasn't even in the USADA testing pool. And again, these were the up-and-comers. This was his generation, or the generation after him. Corey Sandhagen, Aljamain Sterling, Petr Yan, even Rob Font was coming up. And he wanted no parts of them. And that's his legacy in the end. You know, a close win over Demetrius Johnson, solid wins over contenders and Sergio Pettis and Wilson Hayes. Never defended his title against a flyweight contender when there were plenty to choose from. Never defended his title against a top 5 bantamweight, his bantamweight title against a top 5 bantamweight who was young, hungry. So, yeah, for me, Cejudo's legacy is very much overhyped. I don't mind the fact that he does it because fighters are going to do it, but I feel pretty similar to the way I feel about Conor McGregor. I think his legacy is vastly overhyped. Drop your thoughts down below. Maybe you guys disagree. If you do, let me know. Catch you guys later. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more.